do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
These declassified documents that were just released.
Officials in the Obama administration were asking for the identities to be unmasked of Americans.
Unmasking of aides and staffers of the incoming president.
The basic charge, political spying.
To disrupt the peaceful transfer of power.
Unmasking of American citizens. It could be a real problem.
Why is it that the unmasking of Flynn somehow ended up in the pages of the Washington Post?
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
The vice president said that yesterday, and then the last name on this list is Joe Biden.
The Obama administration was bitter. They wanted to do everything they could to undermine the incoming Trump administration.
Really designed to sabotage and really upend the new administration.
An outgoing president and a vice president and a Washington Post columnist and the FBI setting up an incoming administration. Wow, that's a real conspiracy, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Hi, I'm Gaston, and I want to talk about it. If you search Obamagate on Google, you're not going to get many hits. Mainly, you'll get some New York Times and other left-wing outlets saying how ridiculous it is. But is it ridiculous? Yeah. The Obama administration's conduct was indeed preposterous. But what is Obamagate? Obamagate is the conspiratorial or dramatic name for the Durham investigation or Durham report. John Durham, at the behest of Attorney General William Barr, is investigating Operation Crossfire, which was the FBI's investigation in the Trump administration and the whole Russia connection, and they're investigating potential criminality going up all the way to the tippy top of the FBI, including James Comey and Robert Mueller. Let's start with Kevin Clinemsmith and Carter Page. The Durham investigation found that the FBI used the Steele dossier to get the initial warrant to spy on Carter Page, a national security advisor for the incoming president, Donald Trump. The Steele dossier was an intelligence report by a British spy which was paid for by Hillary Clinton as opposition research for the election. When the FBI got the warrant, they forgot to mention that the Steele dossier was paid for by Hillary Clinton. If they would have mentioned it, the court most probably would not have given them the warrant. Then, and most importantly, Clinemsmith, a senior FBI lawyer, found that Carter Page was working with the CIA. What this meant was that he could not also be a Russian asset. So what did Clinemsmith do? He falsified documents. He gave documents to the court that instead of saying that Carter Page worked with the CIA, it said that Carter Page, in fact, did not work with the CIA. And that way, he got his renewal. Clinemsmith made several lies and omissions like this one. And because of that, he's the first domino to fall in the Obamagate conspiracy. Yesterday, August 19, 2020, year of our Lord, Kevin Clinemsmith pled guilty to falsifying documents in the Russia probe. The media and his lawyers, however, claim that Clinemsmith deeply regrets having altered the documents and that it was never his intent to mislead the court. What do you mean? How is it not his intent? He knew that if Carter Page was found to be working with the CIA, he would not get the warrant, so he falsified the document to say otherwise to then get his warrant. That's all the intent that you need. And you know what else? The FBI knew that the Steele dossier was not reliable from the beginning.
The Russian contact said to the FBI, Steele is unreliable because he misrepresented. Steele misstated or exaggerated the source's statements in multiple sections of the report. He's saying, I told him one thing and he wrote something else. The FBI knew that.
Yeah, but that doesn't drive a conclusion that Steele's reporting is bunk. I mean, there's a number of tricky things to that. First, you're interviewing the subsource after all the reporting has become public. And so as a counterintelligence investigator, you have to think, is he walking away from it because it's now public? Well, and that has to go into your assessment of Mr. Steele.
It hadn't, I mean, if it had become public just barely, this is in January of 2017. This isn't 2 years later.
Once the FBI was investigating Carter Page and the Trump administration, they said, maybe we can spy on someone else. And they decided on Michael Flynn. They started to spy on him because he was talking to Russian diplomats, which was not kosher, except for the fact that Michael Flynn was the incoming National Security Advisor, and it is totally normal for the incoming National Security Advisor weeks before taking office to start meeting with foreign diplomats. It's totally normal. When the FBI realized that they had nothing on Michael Flynn, they were about to drop the case, but then they decided to entrap him. FBI head of counterintelligence Bill Prastap, in regards to the Michael Flynn case, wrote, "What is our goal? Truth and admission, or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired?" And then there's the Susan Rice email. On Inauguration Day, when most people of the previous administration should be cleaning out their desks and getting ready to leave, Susan Rice sent a very interesting email saying that Obama and the FBI handled the Michael Flynn investigation completely clean, by the books. This, to me, it's a little sketchy. But the part that really gets my spidey sensey going is that Susan Rice sent that email to herself. Susan Rice emailed herself on Inauguration Day about a meeting held 2 weeks prior in order to have a paper trail that said that Obama and the FBI handled the investigations by the book. Is that not sketchy? Comment down below. Interestingly, last year, the Inspector General published a report on whether the FBI handled everything by the book or not. Comey thinks that the report exonerated him. The Inspector General thinks otherwise.
You have been taking something of a victory lap since the IG report was released earlier this week. The question is whether or not it's justified. Here are you and the Inspector General, Michael Horowitz, answering the same question.
Do you think this is vindication?
It is. I mean, the FBI's had to wait 2 years while the president and his followers lied about the institution. Finally, the truth gets told.
Does your report vindicate Mr. Comey?
It doesn't vindicate anyone at the FBI who touched this, including the leadership.
The IG says you should feel no vindication.
They be coming for you, Mr. Comey. They be coming. Recently, Nancy Pelosi, for some reason, admitted that Russia wants Trump to win, but that Iran and China prefer Biden.
Criticism for saying this, but the Chinese, what they said is China would prefer Joe Biden. Whether they do, that's their conclusion, that they would prefer Joe Biden.
Then CNN wrote this. The U.S. intelligence community assessment that Russian interference in the 2020 election favors President Donald Trump threatens to undercut his hopes that prosecutor John Durham will discredit the origins of the FBI's Russian investigation into his 2016 campaign. By this logic, since Iran and China want Biden to win, does that mean that Biden is colluding with Iran and China? This makes no sense. Then CNN goes on to write, for years, Trump has claimed without proof that the Democratic partisans within the Justice Department and the FBI abused their powers to investigate members of his campaign to undermine his presidency. Obamagate appears to be an extension of the underlying theory, which is part of the president's sustained efforts to rewrite the history of the Russia investigation. You catch that, how they said at the beginning, without proof? Well, boom, now we got proof. Now you got an FBI lawyer indicted, pled guilty, and more people to come. Maybe. This conspiracy goes to the tippy top. Mueller's involved, Comey's involved, and even though William Barr has said that Obama and Biden probably won't be facing any criminal charges, they're involved as well, hence the name, Obamagate. But the mainstream media won't cover this, which is why you should like and subscribe. What do you think? Will we see more indictments? Comment down below. Ginger out.